Hello, I'm Michelle, aka Imagination Reigns, and I am very late to this conversation, per usual, because I had no intention of watching K pop Demon Hunters. I initially saw hype for this movie on my Instagram, and I was like, K pop Demon, what? Who? Why? But last time I said this, I missed out on Arcane, which is now one of my favorite pieces of animation of all time. So, despite my initial resistance, I listened to my community and I watched it. And I liked it. I actually liked it. You know, that first opening scene where it opens with how it's done, someone described it as getting sprayed in the face with confetti. And that's pretty accurate. My boyfriend walked by while I was watching it and was like, "What the hell are you watching?" And it did take me a minute to acclimate, but this movie was so much fun. The colors and illustrations were mwah. The whole movie is vibrant and colorful. It's just pure eye candy. The character design and animation is superb, and I currently have the soundtrack playing on repeat, which is kind of shocking to me because if you had come to my office and pitched this movie script, I would have told you to get out of here. And I think that's why Sony is winning right now because it's taking risks. And it made me ask, why was this movie so successful? Especially with the very little amount of marketing I saw. And it almost makes me wonder if the makers of K pop Demon Hunters were inspired by Arcane. And there are actually a few videos and posts going around that show some visual similarities between the two. But what made me fall in love with Arcane was the beautiful animation. I mean, the art in Arcane will inspire me for the rest of my career. The storyline was captivating and it had an amazing soundtrack. I think I listened solely to the Arcane soundtrack for a solid 6 months. And you can see this same kind of formula in K pop Demon Hunters. I also think it caters to an audience that was dying for something that was carefree and light. Even though it has some serious moments, I mean, just look at the title. With everything in the world right now being so serious, I think people just wanted something that could just make them smile. And I think we all really needed that. We're also, as millennials age, transitioning into a new audience. And I watched a video from Know the Robot, I'll link below, that explains how K pop Demon Hunters appeal to Gen Z. As a studio, you have to be able to adapt and grow with your audience. And I think there are some studios out there that are just stuck right now. And Sony was able to realize that and make something really unique and that spoke to its audience. We've also seen some failure recently of studios trying to take a culture and integrate it into a movie rather unsuccessfully. There's been some critique that people want culturally relevant movies with unique storylines. Well, now everyone's going to need to take a look at Sony because I think they did a fantastic job. I thought it was so cool hearing Korean integrated into the songs along with English, seeing the Korean snacks, K pop stars, which I knew nothing about previously, the bathhouse references, and even the tiger and magpie. I don't know a whole lot about K pop or Korean culture, but I was intrigued and it really piqued my interest. I read this article from the BBC that gave some insight into the making of the movie and how they integrated Korean culture, and I'll read it to you really quick. To achieve this level of authenticity, the production team traveled to South Korea and carried out extensive research into both traditional and modern aspects of Korean culture, from traditional clothing to the landmarks of Seoul. We went to folk villages, we looked at what the bricks look like and how the streets are designed. We took pictures because capturing the feeling is so important. We tried to make the movie feel as Korean as possible, and one way to do that was to, in every scene and in every design aspect, add in Korean elements. I think that's so cool. It seemed like there was a lot of love and attention to detail that went into this movie. If you want to learn more about the Korean cultural references and the Korean phrases in the songs, Talk to Me in Korean does a great job in one of his videos, and I'll link that in the description below. I just think Sony really nailed it with K-pop Demon Hunters. It's colorful, it's fresh, and it has a soundtrack we're going to be playing for a while. I mean, it was topping the charts on Spotify, which is crazy. I told a friend about this movie and he seemed very uninterested, which is fine. And then I got a text weeks later where he was like, "All right, this is pretty good." So I think it surprised a lot of people who were doubters at first glance. Anyways, I was really shocked at how much I liked this movie. The art community was right. Again, I slept on Arcane and I slept on K-pop Demon Hunters. I'll listen next time, I promise. I'm excited to see what Sony has waiting in the pipeline, and hopefully I won't be late watching. Thank you for watching, everyone, and go watch K-pop Demon Hunters if you haven't already. And if you have, watch it again. And as always, keep painting.